So as usual, with the body still drying after the final clear coat, I moved on to some other parts and pieces, specifically the ones for the interior and chassis. All of them were prepped and primed, and then painted in various colors. Starting with the main interior being painted in a dark gray, I chose a standard Zero Paints interior color and added some more black to it to tone it down even more and get it a bit of a darker gray than it was supposed to be from that bottle. Some other parts were painted silver, like these exhaust pipes, and then the main chassis itself was painted with a textured black. A lot of small details on the interior still needed some additional colors, and I started with black, mainly on some of the details on the dashboard and also on the steering column. With the vents and some of the interior plastics now painted black, I decided to add some trim coloring as well with some gunmetal. The screen in the center console got some gloss clear to give it more of a screeny look instead of just some matte black, and also some other buttons got some silver details to add as a sort of logo that is on a lot of these buttons, and just to detail it out even more. And of course, I also needed to add some flocking to simulate the carpet, so I laid down some clear to act as a glue, and then the flocking on top of it. The third brake light was also painted on. I first laid down a layer of silver and then some clear red on top. With the gauge cluster decal in place, I could move on to assembling it all, gluing it together with some super glue from Bob Smith Industries. After finishing up the interior, I straight away moved on to the next part, and that was the chassis. It of course was already painted in the textured black, so now I still needed to add some details and also do some weathering after some minor assembly. With the painting out of the way, I could move on to the weathering before I start some more assembly. Firstly, I just laid down some Tamiya Panelline accent color to add some details and also to make it a bit dirtier, a bit oily, and also added some to the exhaust as well. Then started assembling it and could add some makeup from Tamiya. So after a lot of parts were assembled, I could move on to the final weathering, just using the Tamiya weathering set. And with the interior in place, this is finished. Now the chassis is really simple. It doesn't even have disc brakes or calipers, so I will need to figure something out and add those on later with an aftermarket option.